Hi everyone, my name is Lorenzo Murzilli. I'm the founder of Murzilli Consulting and the co-founder of Drone Talks. And today I have the pleasure to chat with Cristiano Baldoni from ENAV. Ciao Cristiano.
Ciao Lorenzo, nice to meet you again.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How about yourself?
Very good, very good. So we are here to talk about the upcoming Amsterdam Drone Week. I see that ENAV has a great presence. Yourself, of course, are going to be there. What does it represent for you, this yearly appointment over there in Amsterdam?
Well, I have to say that the Amsterdam Drone Week starts to be a central appointment in our agenda during the year. It looks like a very, very important network event with EASA and the Commission explaining a little bit their idea, their roadmap, the highlights, what has been done and what is going to be due. So I think it's really great to be there again. I think now it's fourth or fifth time. I cannot really remember how many Amsterdam Drone Weeks already took place, but it's always a pleasure to be there. I love the Netherlands. I love the organization. It's a very well organized place, a good venue to meet everybody, and really, really happy to be there again.
Excellent. I can only echo what you're saying. You know, for us, it's the same kind of story, right? It's a place to be every year if you're in the drone ecosystem. You mentioned EASA, you mentioned the Commission, of course, U-Space 2023, right? That's the year of U-Space. Regulation came into force. Tell us what's happening in Italy about this. Like, how are you guys being organized? What are your plans? Give me a bit of an overview.
Can I make a joke?
You can always.
Okay. So, well, yeah, the regulation now is in force.
Sorry.
So what?
Yeah, you tell me. So what?
So what? No, well, I think that one of the criticality of this legislation is that it's true there is an entry in force date, but that that date of entry in force doesn't mean really anything. What I mean is that there are a lot of things that need to be done by the competent authority, which has the driving wheel in a way or the other at national level. So until the national authority will start to designate U-Space portion of airspace, wherever they will intend to do so, nothing will really happen. The regulation is there, but there is nowhere where the regulation can be applied. That's the first point. And I think that Italy is not the only place where nothing is really happening so far. Maybe there are countries where they are moving faster with the regulation. I'm sure that in Switzerland there is higher level of readiness, let me say. Maybe Spain. I saw something very interesting from Germany, a very well done document by the Ministry of Transportation explaining the roadmap and the criteria for U-Space designation. Nothing like that took place in Italy yet. So our authority is still looking around to understand where and when to designate portion of airspace, where it is really an opportunity, where the U-Space might bring benefits, which is not clear so far. Because most of the operators are still operating in open category. Very limited BVLOS authorization have been given. Imagine that in all 2022, in Italy, were given 27 authorization for BVLOS. So it's very little. The market is very, very small. Having said that, there is another issue. In order to have the U-Space working, you need, a U-Space service provider certified, and the flight is not yet there. Unlikely. And you need a CIS provider, or at least you need a CIS infrastructure, let me say. Well, in Italy, ENAV took the position to indicate ENAV, so the Italian Air Navigation Service Provider, as the single national common information service provider, which means that ENAV will have to develop and deploy the CIS solution, whatever it means. So, considering our roadmap for USSP certification, I'm talking with the head of the fly. I always
obviously yes, we know you.
Hats,
absolutely
the ENAV hat and the fly hat.
Yes.
So I can swap between one and the other.
You are allowed.
With problems,
yes.
right? So if I have to talk as ENAV, we are, of course, and I will talk about that in Amsterdam and in Geneva as well. You know that in Geneva there is also an important appointment.
Airspace World, yes.
Is the Airspace World 2023, which is taking place instead of the former World ATM Forum, which was in Madrid. So we will be in Geneva next week, where I will give my status of the art of Italian airspace implementation. There will be a presentation by myself in one of the theaters on the 9th of March. So ENAV is, of course, doing everything needed to implement the CIS, but it will take time. ENAV will have to certify a CIS. Of course, it will be easier for an air navigation service provider as it is already certified for ATM provision. But still, there are a lot of things to do. There is the big question mark about interoperability and implementation of standards, which are there now, but I think there are still little implementation around. Just to mention, you remember in the law 947, Article 14 is providing for interoperability of the U.S. registry.
Yes.
At a good time, EASA tried to implement a broker. They call the EASA broker for U.S. operators exchange, for the registry exchange. Where is it? There's nothing. So countries are not talking to each other, not even on the good old U.S. operator registry. As for what I know, maybe something is taking place, but I'm really not sure that something is taking place.
So I understand. Basically, you're saying, look, we have the regulation, it's very nice, but without the member states starting to act on it, everybody else is stuck, right? I mean, this was also from my side a kind of a cry for help already a few months ago. Yes. I think we talked with you in Amsterdam already last year about this, that the first step is with the member states, and if they don't take it, nothing else happens, right?
And a lot of things need to be done at state level by the competent authority. There is an issue for the certification of for the CE mark on the drones. The 947, the 945 law, it's continuously moved forward.
Yes, because we don't
because the competent authorities basically they do not have the capability to monitor the markets, because they will have the duty to monitor the CE mark implementation. And that's an issue. So because our competent authorities, they were born for a small world.
Yes,
a small world of aviation. Now, in a matter of months, they have to transform themselves for something which is looking at potentially a huge market.
Yeah, this is very true.
Even if the market is low, the market is small currently. Hopefully, it will get bigger and bigger. Even if the market is small, the number of actors already playing in this small market are much higher than the normal number of actors which are normally playing in the legacy playfield of ATM.
Yes, and I have to tell you also, I mean, when you mention, for example, the number of authorizations issued in beyond visual line of sight, that it's not very high. Even there, it's kind of a chicken and an egg, right? Because obviously you cannot really fly beyond visual line of sight today easily, because we don't have a detect and avoid solution that can actually allow these operations in absence of a proper use space, right? We don't have a use space, so obviously you're looking at corner cases where you can actually take and accept the air risk, but they're not a lot, right?
Yes. And there is I tell you, another thing that worries me is that because of this delay, let's call it this way, a number of things that are still not there. Our regulator, that's at least the situation in Italy, is starting to grant reserved airspaces for dedicated activities. So the big utilities like power distribution, gas distribution, and so on and so forth, they are start using their drones even in beyond visual line of sight in some cases, in some limited cases. But they do it in their own portion of volume of airspace. Why? It's not there, but it's dedicated to their activities. So they don't need a use space. If they are the only one that to fly there, what is a use space supposed to do? What is the benefit of a use space? As you said, you don't need a detection and avoidance system. You don't need a monitoring, a network remote identification, a traffic information service if you are the only one flying in a certain corridor, right?
Yes.
But the corridor dedicated to utility people, let's call it this way, not to make any name, but you know very well what I'm thinking of. It's absolutely the opposite of the philosophy and the assumptions that were at the basis of the use space, which is a flexible use of airspace.
Absolutely, yes. Because I mean, we have been part of these discussions like for years, and the idea was like we didn't want to segregate the airspace and fragment the airspace, right? With all of these ad hoc corridors issued to individual companies that didn't look like a nice or proper implementation. So hopefully this is only going to be a temporary solution. But I can see your point. If you create path dependency, then it's difficult to change that back to what it's supposed to be. So I think here, cry for help for member states. Please start to work on this, right? And do your risk assessment, do your analysis of airspace to figure out where and how to implement use space. And obviously, I mean, I think from an ANSP, and also, I mean, because you have two hats, right? From an ANSP and SSP side, I don't want to say that we are ready, because obviously we are not, but we are ready to be ready, right? We are ready to apply, we are ready to invest, but obviously you are right in saying I need to see my return on investment, right? If there is no future on where can I operate, I will also be hesitant in stepping into the game, right? So it's kind of everybody's watching, hey, is it going to happen for real or not? And the ball is with the member states. I can totally see that.
Yeah. And the other negative part, so maybe then we can try to see if there are some positive aspects. But the other concern I have, and I cannot get out of it, is that for the time being, the market is not it would not be capable to sustain such a complex value chain. So the 664 is a gray law, it's taking care of many details, but it's introducing so many different chains in the value chain. Each one of those should be sustainable on economical side. So the CIS, the flourish and free market of your space service provision, and so on and so forth. Whereas currently the relation between the US operators and the final customers has very limited margins. So it's still, no one has to be offended by that, but it is a poor market. It's a market where it's not a rich market. So it's not like the passenger transportation where ATM is fully covered. ATM expenses are fully covered, fully subsidized by the cost of the ticket, by a portion of the cost of the ticket. Imagine a portion of the cost of a US operation to be dedicated to the space service provider. Then he will have to pay the services for the CIS and so on and so forth. I'm not sure. I still don't think that all this chain is sustainable. I have strong doubts. The solution, of course, would be the brilliant, innovative aviation, the EIM, innovative air mobility, or urban air mobility, whatever. Because of course that's the chicken with the golden eggs, probably.
The chicken with the golden eggs.
Of course, the solution could be the innovative air mobility, which looks like the next chicken with gold egg. But this will take still a lot of years to become a reality, a big market. It will start as a small proof of concept, small flights for very important people, very limited occasions for the Olympics games and stuff like that. And by the way, since in the next 10 years there will be a pilot on board, they won't be consumers. These operators won't be consumers of your space services. And it's even written clearly in the Drone 2.0 strategy. Use space is not encompassing eVTOLs.
So Cristiano, give me a good news now. We are getting towards the end of our chat. I want to finish on a positive note. So what is going on well in Italy? Where do you see hope?
The good news. The good news is that notwithstanding all the negative things that we mentioned, we see an increasing interest for services rendered by US. The operation with US are growing. We are now seeing, since this year, big companies starting to purchase significant number of drones. So they will start operating. Still, the use is mainly on open category. So a lot of utilities that are using the drones in the pocket of the workers for local inspections. It's not yet the inspection management as we are thinking of, with the long endurance flights all over the critical infrastructure. We are not there yet for a number of reasons. One of them is that the use space is not there yet, but we see that now the big utilities are really looking at that as a possible industrial solution for changing the paradigm of inspection and management. With regard to logistic, I still see a very limited market, but it is definitely increasing in the medical part, in the medical parcel delivery, because that's a very excellent solution for a number of use cases. So experimentations are going ahead in Italy. There are a number of companies and public institutions that are looking to that with increasing interest. And we are as the flight, we are offering a number of consultancies to different stakeholders to facilitate, to help them, to support them to plan their business with US operation. And I'm sure that the market is moving on, and it will take still some time to have all the institutions be aligned on the feasibility, on the acceptance. There are too many actors nowadays that are somehow contrasting each other, especially with regard to the flight authorization, to to allow flights in certain conditions. I mean, if the competent authorities say that the SORA is okay, so the safety operation analysis risk assessment is okay and is approved, then it should not be the case that the local authority would block the operation because of safety issues.
Absolutely, that would be not acceptable.
It could do it for security, but no, it should not enter into the matter of airside operation. That's not their competences. While for the time being, there is still some mix. At least, well, that's what's happening in Italy. In Italy, it's the land of hundreds of municipalities, and we have. If you look at the flight, we are presenting, of course, the U.S. geography. 70% of the Italian territory is covered by red boxes. So
it's
not very good.
That's not very good. Okay, Cristiano, I think we are out of time, but it was, as usual, very nice to chat with you. Always a very, I would say, honest and, down-to-earth representation of the market and where we are. I think I agree with most of what you say, so I think it's time to get our acts together and push this forward. Otherwise, we're kind of stalled in this middle ground of no one moving in the right direction. And I agree with you that the ball is with the member states. So thank you very much for this chat, and see you next time.
Pleasure.